Hello everybody, welcome to my second video tutorial in this short series. If you haven't already checked my first video tutorial, you should definitely do so. I will provide a link in the description below. In the previous tutorial I have covered some basic setup, some basic concepts. We've built our asset bundles and checked if the test project starts. Now we'll expand on those ideas and discuss a bit about the powerful level configuration system which I've created based on the asset bundling mechanism, which is also part of the core DBB. So let's just run again the test project and see some particularities. As you can see, there are two game scenes, the main menu and a small demo game. But if you look closely over here on the scene inspector, when I switch between levels, there is only one scene. And if you remember in the first tutorial when I've presented an overview of the project, there is only the main scene inside this library. I haven't mentioned anything about more scenes, but here we are. There are two playable game levels at your disposal to test and play with. So how did I do that? Well, first of all, conceptually, in my other projects, in my games which are currently in development, I was getting tired by the number of game scenes that were growing and growing for each and every level I wanted to add. So I wanted to create a mechanism that would allow me to use just only one scene in the entire project, in the entire game, and create a mechanism that would handle the loading and unloading of assets specific to each level, to display a nice progress bar for each level, some custom splash screens, so on and so forth. So to achieve that, I have designed actually as a Dream plugin, an extension to the core DBB. I've designed a system that allows you to create some configuration files, some configuration prefabs that would represent a level, feed them into the DBB system, and with just a bit of coding, invoke and create and load and unload levels as necessary. Let's see how the two demo levels, which I've presented you earlier, are configured and how the whole mechanism works. First of all, let's just have the Dream Loader selected and access the Level Loader Dream plugin here in the Custom Inspector. There isn't much about this plugin. As you can see, I have the main menu here and have the levels. This is rather a dynamic list, which I will show you. You can add as needed new configuration properties. Here it is. So in the case of this demo, I have created beforehand just the main menu and the demo level configuration. But just as I've shown you before, you can easily add as many level configurations as you could possibly need, and also remove them by clicking the X button near. Now, what are these actual configuration placeholders you see here? Let's take the configuration for the main menu. It is, you can find it, you can find inside the project, both for demo level and for demo menu. Inside their config folders you can find this scriptable object, and if you select it, let's just say for the demo menu, we have a custom inspector. The custom inspector is nothing more than a list with assets that the system will load will load for that particular level. To demonstrate you how this works, let's just pretend for now that we don't have this, it's empty. The container is also empty, and here will empty also. So basically now we have an empty container. I have to mention that you can create these kind of containers also from here. Create new scene configuration. Let's just create another one. Assets, demo menu, config, new scene config, test config. Here it is. It's empty. Should have used this because I've already emptied, but I've shown you how to create a new container, an empty container. So what do we have to do? As you can see, each container has its own separate custom inspector. Let's just give this new container a new name. Test menu. You can select a skybox for that particular level if it needs to have one. Let me just check. No, the demo menu doesn't have one. In the GUI part of the configuration, you can define an array of sprites that will be displayed when loading that particular level, such as splash screens, progress bars. You can define as many splash packs as you want. In this demo I have provided with resources for 2 packs of progress bars and splash screens, both for the demo menu and for the demo level. Just to mention, you can define as many splash packs as you want, and the system will choose randomly between each time you invoke that level. The system will pick one random from this pack and will display it. So what does the splash pack mean? Well, it's comprised of level splash screen, a level progress bar background, the level progress bar fill, and some colors for the text displayed on that progress bar. The splash is used inside this test project for both the demo menu and the demo level scenes. Could be found under the sprites subfolder for each of the two scenes. For example, for the demo menu we have this folder right here. Inside it we have the splashes in their separate folder, the progress bars inside theirs. Let's just take a look at those splashes. Also the progress bars and their respective fill bars. Courtesy to a talented artist whose contact I've provided in the documentation. If you ever need to some art, digital art. So now we'll proceed to use them to configure our new we'll just drag and drop them to the configuration container. It is also very important for each one to provide an adequate text color, because as you can see, we can provide lots of progress bar backgrounds and fill bars with certain colors, and the display text, the progress one, must have a compatible color in order to be visible. So you can configure separate for each pack of background and fills. You can configure the appropriate progress text color. We'll just set those also. Make sure it is not transparent in order to be visible. White, non-transparent, white, non-transparent. So now that we've done this part, we'll just have to pick the assets needed that will be loaded for this particular level. We'll click the pick assets button. A new model window will appear. It's a very flexible asset picker tool which provides you with a list of bundled assets along with their bundles. The bundles are the bolded ones with a bullet in front, and their contents, asset contents, are these smaller text with checkboxes. Also, you can filter by name, asset name, by bundle name. You can filter by bundle, filter by type. For now we have only game objects inside our testing project. I know for a fact the assets I need to pick for this particular scene, so I filter them by bundle name. You can see you have to check their boxes for the assets you want to import into your configuration. Choose selected, and the assets you've just selected should appear immediately in this list over here. You can adjust their loading priority by clicking the green arrow buttons. I want terrain first, props, the spotlight, the camera, and the UI. Also, you can remove items from this list by clicking the X button. So now what we have to do is reselect the level loader plugin and drag and drop the newly created configuration container for the main menu level. We'll just drag it over here, and that should be it. You should keep in mind that after each modification you make, in this case we've modified the level loader plugin, but in each modification you make to assets that are bundled, either in the game bundles, either in these plugin bundles, such as in this case, you should always rebuild the bundles in order to see the changes in your project. I have to mention that DBB loads all the, especially this level configuration tool, loads the assets that are present in the current built bundles. So if you make some modification to your project, you must to see them in scene, you must rebuild the bundles, in this case the plugin bundles. Also, I have to mention before starting our project regarding the configuration container. Here it is done. This as a picker tool loads this list from the build, as you've deducted, from the build bundle. So in order for this tool to work and content to be displayed over here, the bundles must first be built, the game bundles, not the plugin ones, the game bundles. So that's that. Now we can test the project and see if our newly configured container is working as expected. As you can see, this is the demo menu. If you navigate back and forth between the level and the menu, you can see that those, as I've mentioned, the splashes and progress bars change randomly from the packs I've just shown you how to set up. And that would be it regarding the configuration of levels. Now let's get into a bit of coding to see how you can actually invoke a level to be loaded. For this, we'll just go to a script used by the demo project. In this case, let's just see how we invoke the level, the demo level, not the demo menu. We'll open the menu UI handler, which is a simple script used inside the test scene, is not part of the core DBB. So here it is. To start the demo level, we have this method. This one-liner does all the job. The Dream Bundle root is the class, is the main class of DBB. We have access to a singleton instance throughout our entire project. We retrieve a plugin instance for the level data loader, this plugin which I've shown you over here. We access the demo level config property and invoke its load method. Now you will be asking, what is this demo level config? Well, it's a property inside the level data loader plugin class. This property is associated, actually it's this property listed right here, and this demo level config, well, this demo, I'm sorry, I've shown you this is this property, which, as you can see, is listed here. So if we'd have to create a new level, the system would create a new property for that level. So if you would want to load this level instead of this one, you just have to rewrite it something like this. So there you have it. This is a simple one-liner to load a level configuration, which I've shown you how to set up and use it from code. Also, you can delete those configuration and they will disappear also from the source file. So that would be it regarding the level configuration system I've designed to use just one scene in the entire project. Hope it was useful for you, and we'll see each other in the last tutorial in this series. Thank you.